Hello, this is Greg Ellis from Green Griggs coming to you on the morning of 16 January 2021 with breaking news. Time on deck is 02:47 hours. The news is this: Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, is under electronic warfare attack right now. Electronic warfare is being conducted upon our nation's capital at this moment. And it started on the 15th. And what's been happening is as follows. All the frequencies of fire, police, and federal radios are being jammed. This is a very sophisticated intelligence jamming system, and it seems to be pervasive throughout the capital region in DC. What's happening is this: when the operator keys his microphone, his radio immediately gets jammed in. And whatever the jamming frequency is turns on, and then when he gets done, it turns off. This system is monitoring radios and the frequencies of the federal frequencies, of the frequencies of the police and the fire, but it's not bothering aviation. It's not bothering maritime. The boats on the river, the Potomac River, out at sea, they're fine. Aircraft flying over, they're fine. And so they've been out there trying to DF this. You can use directional antennas to DF these sources. It's coming from everywhere. They can't DF it. They can't find it. Apparently, these transmitters are all over town. This is a very sophisticated network that somebody has installed, or somebody's, that is actively jamming systems in Washington, D.C. Emergency response, like I said, police, fire, the federal frequencies, they're being jammed. And it only jams the voice, apparently not the data.
I'm 57 years old, and I now have the tight, lifted butt that I thought I had lost for good.
So when they key their mics, jam. It picks up, it detects them, and starts jamming them. When they unkey, apparently it unjams. How this happens, how it's working, is an interesting proposition. This is a very sophisticated system. It could be that some very smart individuals could have pulled this off. It's not outside the purview of some really intelligent individuals to do something like this. But you got to wonder who it is, what it is, and why. It could be a group. It could be a group that's doing this in a very sophisticated fashion. Like, I actually led a group that figured out how to defeat the COCOM limits of GPS so I could use it for missile tracking when I was launching my altitude research corporation Cat's Prize rocket back in the year 2000. My group did that. Yeah, and we did that on a shoestring budget out of a garage with a few really smart guys. So these are things that groups can do things like this. But I would say it's more probable that this is an inside job from some federal agency, or maybe a foreign power, because of the pervasiveness of it being everywhere, the sophistication of it. This is a very sophisticated system. We're going to talk about what you need to do too. So just hang on now. We're going to get through this in a little bit. This ain't going to take long to lay out too. This is breaking news. I got this intel from a friend of mine who's been working in DC area for decades, and they've been calling him trying to get him to come back to help fix this. So here's what's happening. Let's kind of analyze this a minute first. Let's just go back. If this is intel, if this is some inside job from a federal agency, you can conclude one or two things. Either they screwed up by letting this thing initiate early, which played their hand, played their cards, because you would think if somebody's wanting to do an op on the election, they would hold it. They wouldn't let anybody know it was there, and then they would just start it all at once. The fact that it started now means one or two things. Either they screwed up royally, or they have other intentions. Now, considering the sophistication of the system, the idea that they screwed up royally seems a little shaky to me, just a little shaky. I think it may be more probable that they're trying to flesh things out. Either that they want to cause the ceremony to move out of the secure zone, or maybe be delayed. And if it is delayed to some later time, mind you, the Constitution says the 20th, but there has been one of these has been delayed back in, I think, the 1880s. So if it's delayed, will they be able to put together all the resources again, just like they have this time? I mean, mobilizing this much National Guard all at once is a huge endeavor. All the security they just put in place, that's a huge endeavor. To have to redo that. Now maybe they'll find these and put this to bed. But and then another thing, if you were going to do an op, like if you were going to do an op in town, if somebody was going to do an op in town, and believe it, I am not condoning this. Okay, don't get me wrong here at all. And I'm putting this out for everybody. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You need to know this. And I won't go into this, but if somebody was planning to do an op, the last thing I'm going to do is make everybody antsy. And this is going to make everybody antsy. So, you want people to relax as much as possible. Everything's nice, just relax. So this is not what you would expect for an op from the fact that seemingly inadvertently played their hand early, which is a little hard to believe, and it makes people antsy. So I think maybe more likely the reason try to force a delay on this or flush it out of town to another location, less secure. Because I just spent all this time and money setting up all these fences and everything. I don't know. There's more that we don't know than what we do know. The simple facts, what we do know is jamming is taking place. And it just seems highly uncanny that it's taken place and started the Friday before the event. I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then you got Tuesday and the event being Wednesday, 6 days of yeah, that's, really 5 days prior. That's kind of unusual. Doesn't fit Sun Tzu philosophy at all. So what is really happening here? Why now? There is the foreign player aspect of it. It's a foreign player. They don't care one way or another. They're just trying to cause disruption, maybe distraction, which is very concerning. This is why I think you need to pay attention.
Brush your teeth in less than 10 seconds with this revolutionary toothbrush. It was created.
If it is a foreign player, they may be planning something else, something bigger. And with this distraction, it may give them a little cover. It may be something like an EMP attack upon this whole country coming. I don't know. I hope not. I severely hope not. But I talked about this in some previous videos just recently. And I was talking about all this tension we got going up with Iran right now, and how that could come up to an EMP attack. But other players might take advantage of that particular tension, since we've got that tension built up now on North Korea or a Russia or China. Maybe China. I wouldn't most suspect China, actually. Given all the tensions we're having, it might be a good way to take us out while we're in this transition phase between presidents. Maybe things just aren't quite spot on. Bear in mind, though, we've got forces arrayed right now. We've got an aircraft carrier, the Nimitz, off the coast, just below the Persian Gulf. I've heard rumors that we've got B-52s on the way toward Iran. Right now, I don't know if that's true or not, but we sure have been sending a lot of them over that way of late. We've got aircraft carriers close to the South China Sea operating area. We've got them stationed off our east and west coast right now. We are in a defensive position right now in case anybody wants to try any funny business on us. But an EMP attack, especially coming out like off the shore of Venezuela, like I've mentioned earlier in previous videos, no, we're not set up for that. We're not set up for that. Everybody knows it. And we wouldn't know who to blame.